Video game consoles are a big part of a lot of people's childhoods and will continue to be a big part for years to come. So we made our top 10 list of our favorite consoles from our childhood. I'm Robert.
It's your boy, Patrick.
Let's get started. My number 10 is the Wii.
Never mind.
I really don't have a list of reasons why this is my number 10.
Hey, you don't need to. It's all right.
It could be because of how easy it was to hack, but I thought it was cool that you could play GameCube games on it. I don't know if you actually have done that, Patrick.
I had no idea.
You can hook up a GameCube controller to it and play GameCube games. The list of games I could play with the family is funny, mostly because it was boxing that I mostly did, and
that was fun.
I could punch my parents in the face, so that was a fun game. So that's why the Wii is number 10.
That's your number 10? That's
sure
cool.
is.
My number 10 is the GameCube. Not a lot to go with this one. It was always the console that was always at my aunt's house when I was over there. And yeah, you know, Super Mario Sunshine, Monkey Ball, Smash, Melee. I think it was either Melee or Brawl. I think it's Brawl. But that was just always the console that I'd go there and play. But that was when I was a kid, and so I very vague, but it's still up there because as a kid it was pretty fun. So that's my number 10.
My number 9 is PSP. Now, I'm not gonna go around the fact of why it's my number 9. Number 9, or PSP is my number 9 solely on the fact that it was easy to hack.
That's fair. That's fair.
I know it probably isn't the best reason, but I got to enjoy a ton of games because of the fact that you could hack it. I spent hours playing Pokemon, on the PSP, and then I would switch over to The Sims or a WWE game, and I'd have unlimited options of games that I wanted to play, which, again, probably not the best reason, but is what made me enjoy it. So that is why it's my number 9.
Mine's less known console. My number 9 is the Sega Pico. It's kind of hard to explain what the console was. Imagine you had a notebook and that was the actual game. You put the notebook in the console and then you flip the page to what game you wanted to play. So I remember as a kid I had Sonic, and you'd flip the page and then it'd flip on the screen, and then you had a button, then you had a pen, and it was just a lot of fun. It was more for learning when I was a kid, but just I think that's what got me into Sonic and the other stuff. And I think there's a Lion King game, I think there's a Toy Story game, and I think there was a Winnie the Pooh game. It was all learning, but as a kid I thought it was one of the greatest things ever.
Fun fact, never heard of that system.
That's my number 9.
My number 8 is N64, Nintendo 64.
Ooh, good choice.
Surprisingly, it is one of the least bought systems from what me and Patrick have found out. It's one of the lowest on the list.
There will be a picture on screen right now.
Despite the fact that it is one of the lowest selling systems, it has an amazing list of games. I never got to own one as a child. My system was PS1 instead of an N64. Patrick has convinced me how fun it is with years of him playing it still.
Years.
So in the future, I plan on getting it because of the fact that he enjoys it so much. So that is my number 8. I
like how I will a lot of sway of influence. That's pretty cool. My number 8 is a PlayStation 1.
Wow.
It's just because I didn't have a lot of games for it at the time.
No, I'm saying wow because I put N64 and you put PlayStation.
Sorry, it's just I didn't have a lot of games for it. What I played as a kid was Driver 2. Driver 2 was my most played game, and I think I had a bowling game, and I had a Crash party game that was pretty fun. But other than that, it's pretty vague on what I played because there was golf and Madden and all that stuff. But as a kid, I was I don't care about that stuff. But it was a cool console. It's what made me love certain games like Driver. I love Driver, and I love Crash because of that one game. So that is why I like the PlayStation.
My number 7 is PlayStation 4.
Ooh, hard hitting.
I've only had my system, my PS4, for less than a year, but I've already enjoyed so many hours on it. The main game that sticks to my head when I think of PlayStation 4 is Spider-Man, because it is...
I heard that was a good game.
It is my game of the year for 2018. I enjoyed it so much. Plus all the other series that I haven't even touched yet and I am looking forward to, or the ones I have played so far, like Uncharted 4. Haven't beaten it yet, but still, all of them are so great. That is why it's at my number 7.
I like it. I like it a lot. My number 7 is the Nintendo Switch. Now that might be controversial, but at the same time, I've had the console for about, a year and a half ish, and I've only really played like 4 games on it. It's, for it being this high on my list is good because it's a console that's brand new. I feel that it can move slots in a couple of years with Pokemon being titles, more Fire Emblem games, stuff like that.
Actual the main games.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
Which is with Sword and Shield. I feel like it's gonna bump it up to like a 6 maybe, but it's a kickstart for what it has on the platform itself in terms of games. It's really good. The interface is really good. Just how versatile it can be is really cool. Like I can bring it on an airplane. I can bring it in a car. I can have it on my TV. It's just such a unique concept that it's so cool to just own, and I love it.
My number 6 is GameCube.
Ooh.
Even though it's number 6, it's pretty much up that high because of the fact that I mostly played Sims games on it. I got a GameCube and I'm like, Sims. I'm not sure what the name of the game was, but there was a Pac-Man game that I played all the time on that system.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It was like an adventure game that you collected like some form of coins or something.
Yeah, I remember that. I just don't know what it's called.
And I didn't have a memory card at the time, so I couldn't save. So I just had to beat it over and over and over again. So pretty much that's why it's my number 6, is because of that one game.
All right, now this is a forewarning before I get any hate. My 6 through 1 are very close together. It's not like here's 1, here's 6. That's not how it is at all. 1 and 6 are very neck and neck. This is very hard for me to choose. My number 6 is Xbox 360.
What?
Now this hurts me, but with good reason. The Xbox 360 was the first console that I used online.
Same.
It's the first. My gamer tag is the exact same as it was 8 years ago, 9 years ago, and it's just so iconic with just zombies and Minecraft and the hours I've spent on it. It's just very iconic. The games that were on it in terms of exclusives were really good. So as I said, 6 and 1 are neck and neck and everything in between, but that's all I'm saying. That's why it's number 6.
My number 5 is PlayStation 1. PlayStation 1 is legit my early childhood, the start of my life. Games from Spider-Man to Spyro to Crash, and then just a bigger list of games that I could really go on forever. It will be in my heart forever as one of the best systems ever made. So that is why it is my number 5.
My number 5 is the 3DS.
Oh.
Now, it's the 3DS because, in my opinion, it was such a milestone to what Pokemon is. Now, that's a huge reason why I just love it, just because of Pokemon. The 3DS had, Pearl, Diamond, Soul Silver, Heart Gold, it had Black, White, Black 2, White 2.
Plus, it was backwards compatible.
Yeah, that's great. But the 3DS with Pokemon X and Y was such a leap to what they did in terms of what Pokemon was. As I said, with Black, White, Soul Silver, Heart Gold, all those were such good games. But when they made the console change to 3DS, the attention to details on X and Y was phenomenal, and then they carried that through with Alpha Sapphire, Sun, Ultra Sun, and so on and so forth. It's just, I feel like that really changed the game and where we're heading as a fan base, I guess, just because Pokemon for the 3DS really jump started everything. I honestly haven't really played any other games on the 3DS, but Pokemon's a huge reason why, so that's why it's number 5.
My number 4 is the original Xbox.
Wow.
I didn't get to experience it as much as a kid, as often as I do now, because of how often it broke. It broke 3 times as a kid. I had to replace it with a PS2. But I have it now and enjoy it in all its glory. The game that was one of the biggest things I enjoyed on that system was Halo 1. Before it was remastered, I played it on there a ton. And to me, the whole system is satisfying, just like the PlayStation 2 was, with just the intro and stuff and all the sounds it made.
Yeah,
even though
the intro's dope.
Majority of people didn't like the controller for that system, I thought it was cool. It was just something fun to hold on to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's my number 4.
All right, my number 4 is the Game Boy Advance / Game Boy Advance SP. This is huge for me because Pokemon, Sonic, that's about it. Basically, it's just the actual Game Boy Advance. I used to have like a booklight over it because there was no backlight to it.
Oh my god.
And then I got the SP, and the SP was phenomenal. And I remember as a kid, I would no life Fire Red and Emerald all the time. And then I eventually got Silver, Crystal, Gold, Blue, and Yellow. And that was my life. And then I got Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and then Sonic and Knuckles. I don't remember the title off the top of my head, but that was really what got me into gaming. That's what really made me have a passion for Pokemon, Sonic, because those 2 franchises alone are probably top 10 favorites of all time because they're just so good, and as a kid it just drew me in. So that's why Game Boy Advance SP is number 4.
My number 3 is the Xbox 360.
Really?
Absolutely, dude. Without a doubt, it has to be in my top 3. The hours upon hours I spent on this system is insane. The list of games that it has on it makes my heart legit happy.
You just can't name all of them.
All the memories I have had by myself or with Patrick, like our first time playing Minecraft or playing Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, my hours I spent by myself playing Fable 2. The system just always made me happy with all the games that I had.
It's a great console.
So that is why it's my number 3.
Oh, that's dope. All right, my number 3 is the Xbox One.
All right.
Now, it's kind of hard. I've owned this console for, 3 years now? No, it's like 2.5 years. But
Really?
Yeah, because I bought it October 2016. The Xbox One, it's just such a good console. I wish achievements popped on it, but
oh my god,
push that aside. The titles that come out for it now are so good. So good. Like, to name a few, you have Black Ops 4, Kingdom Hearts 3,
Spyro Trilogy.
I'm playing Mortal Kombat 11 right now. Like, it's so, Spyro, Crash, the Forzas, backwards compatibility for 360 and normal Xbox. That's so cool. Just what it has to offer, like Game Pass, like it's so good. You can capture stuff, you can screenshot. It's just an overall amazing experience that I just feel like is just gonna grow into something awesome. You know, you have your Xbox One, Xbox One S, and Xbox One X, but I feel like a new console is gonna be announced soon. But this console has been my ride or die the past 2.5 years, so that is why Xbox One is number 3.
My number 2 is PlayStation 2, which I'm sure a lot of people thought was going to be number 1 for me. Now this is really the system I grew up on. PS1 was my like early childhood. This is legit what I grew up on. Playing SOCOM, all the SOCOM games for hours on end. SmackDown versus Raw, like any WWE game, I played majority of my life were those games. Grand Theft Auto, I played constantly over and over again, all the Grand Theft Auto series. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, just games that I enjoyed. Sims, Burnout, the list can go on forever.
Good titles.
Even though I originally wanted an Xbox, I'm kind of glad it broke, because then I ended up with the PlayStation 2, which made my childhood, pretty much. So, yeah, that's why PlayStation 2 is my number 2.
Just to tag along off of that awesome explanation, my number 2 is also the PlayStation 2.
Oh.
Just what you said kind of summed up everything. It's just such a... It's the console that I feel like started it all. You know, you have your Guitar Heroes. You know, you have your SmackDown.
Oh, I forgot about Guitar Heroes.
Grand Theft Autos, Sims. There's a few games I got that's very... It's not known well. Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsules. That's a really good game. It's really fun. There's a Neopet game on the PS2 that's really fun. There's Sonic games on the PS2. Destroy All Humans isn't PS2, is it? Yes.
Yeah, it's on PS2.
Yeah, it was on the PS2. I think I still have it. All the games that are on that complement it so well.
Gym Fight for New York.
Star Wars Battlefront is just the titles make the console. The console is just so good and it lasts forever. I still have mine. A lot of these consoles I've named, I still own, give or take like 3 or 4. Like I at least have half of these consoles. But it's just like the PlayStation 2 is so well rounded and so well put together. It's just my number 2. It's great.
My number 1 for the best console of all time is Xbox One.
Nice, friend.
It has to be number 1 for me, even though a lot of people will disagree. It has to be number 1 for me because of the fact that you can play original Xbox or Xbox One games on it. You can play Xbox 360 games on it, and you can play original Xbox games on it. And it's like a dream console.
It really is.
It's like a dream. If the more original Xbox games they release, the more it'll be like even having a PlayStation 2 game on the Xbox One is what it'll feel like to me. So all the memories I've already made on the system, and it's fairly new still, and I made with just by myself or with Patrick, it just sticks out to me as the best of all time. All right.
I forgot to talk about GTA 5 as well.
Oh, GTA 5.
My number 1 is the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
It's... I don't know what to say other than nostalgia. I still own mine. It's just so good, and from being a kid, it's just such a good console, and the games were a lot of fun. My top 2 easily were Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and WWF No Mercy, and it's just those games I still play every other week or so. It's just so good, and the controller's awesome. That console really made me have a passion for gaming, and I've said that about 2 other consoles, but this one really laid down the foundation of why I love games, and that's why it's number 1.
All right, that was our top 10 gaming systems of all time.
That was rough.
It was hard to make. Yes, it was. If you guys enjoyed this top 10, remember, we make these every Wednesday. Subscribe to Mudductions to see more.
And with that being said, if you guys did enjoy, please drop a like. It really does help us out, showing us that you guys like what you're seeing. And with that being said,
New.